Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi, this is Amy DeVita from Top Nonprofits, and with me today is Amber J. Lawson. Hi, Amber J.
Hi.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Want to take a few seconds and kind of give everybody the rundown of, the platform and also the agenda for the day. So before we get into anything, I'm just going to take a quick little pulse check here. And if you can hear me, and you heard Amber J say hey, if you could click on this thumbs up, the green thumbs up, and I can get an idea that you can hear us loud and clear. I greatly appreciate it. Hey, good to see everybody on the line today. Thanks, Joanne and Megan and Jeremy and Alonzo and Trish. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us today, and Aaron and Jennifer. And so many, you guys are just, people are from all over the place, all over the country and even other parts of the world. So thanks for taking some time out. All right, so I'm going to end the pulse check. Let me take you for a quick little tour around your dashboard. You can see the Q&A tool, and that's the best way to, it's probably the only way to communicate with me at this point. So use the Q&A. You can type your question in and submit it, and I will be manning that or womaning the Q&A tool for the entire session. Please take notes. Amber J is going to be covering a lot of content today, and she has some fabulous tips and advice. And if you have questions that you'd like to ask in the Q&A, it's always a good idea to write them down so you remember them whenever it's time to go that route. And then I will ask for questions, and Amber J will answer them after the presentation. So, okay, so we have that. We have, if you look also on your dashboard, you can pull up the bio of Amber J and learn all about her if you don't already know. I know some of you guys have been here with us over some of the past events, and for those of you who have, you're familiar with Amber J and you understand, I'm sure, why I adore her and want to be her when I grow up, because she is phenomenal. She's accomplished an awful lot, and she really is focused on helping organizations and really do good at scale. So that's her whole thing, and that's what she's talking about today, is how to really leverage social media to help your end-of-year giving and your GivingTuesday strategies. And she's got a lot of advice for you on that. So I will also, you can see in her bio, Amber J has won multiple awards, very deeply entrenched in the world that is comedy and entertainment, and has always found a way to connect that to good. So good on you, Amber J, and thank you. Multiple awards, and they're all listed there in the bio. And she's going to, I'm sure, be referencing some work that she's done in the past that really explains how she's come about the tips that she's giving today. Okay, so let me get back to this. And on the right-hand side, or down in the toolbar down below, you'll see little icons, right? And you'll see a resource icon, or it might already be populated and open on the right-hand side of your dashboard. And you will see the resources that are available. And so you can click on those. They'll be referenced through the presentation. Just want to make them as easy as possible for you to get. Everybody is going to be, I should have started with this. This event is being recorded, and everybody will receive a recording of it later today. It's set to go out about an hour after the event ends, so keep an eye out for it in your email. Feeling like I probably missed something, but as I mentioned, this is, we've had a couple of other sessions over the past several weeks with Amber J talking about how to prepare for end-of-year giving by using your social media and making the most out of it. And she has had, over the course of these weeks, I know we were talking earlier, she's had so many conversations with some of you who are on the call today, as well as other folks who've participated. So keep the great, dialogue going, and definitely contact her if you have questions. And I will be, again, womaning the Q&A. So I see that the webinar I don't hear anything. Okay, so I'm just going to reply to somebody that you need to turn up your computer volume in order to hear the presentation. And if you have any other questions, there is a question mark icon, and you can check on that. That gives you information on how to troubleshoot for the most common problems. Okay. So without further ado, and as I share this information with Jeremy and some others, I'm sure, who might have the same question, Amber J., I'm going to ask you to take it away, and I will be replying.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. And I just really am grateful to Top Nonprofits, Amy and Craig, for creating the space for us to have these conversations. And what I've garnered out of the past couple webinars and then the one-on-one exchanges that I've had with everybody is, the value that it's bringing, which is my number one goal. And today, my intention is no different. So welcome back. For those of you who've been to webinar 1 and 2, I'm very excited to dig into this third and crucial piece of the conversation, which is conversion. And, at the end of the day, we are looking to create more funds and create more impact in the world. So thank you for taking the time and showing up and doing what you do in the world. It's so important, especially in this time where we don't know what's happening day to day, and the work you are doing is so valuable, and you're impacting so many lives in so many different ways. And I'm just grateful, and I'm grateful to be hopefully a piece in that puzzle for you to reach more lives and to include more people, to wrap your arms around more people and help them have an amazing, valuable life experience. So thank you. And so my intention is to expand the possibilities to reach and impact more people. And I'm excited you're here for the Giving Season Social Media Made Easy webinar. And my intention is that if we haven't talked already, that we get to set a one-on-one session with each and every one of you so we can be precise and specific with your organization's needs. So the moment that you realize that you are not maximizing your social media impact or are prepared for Giving Tuesday or Giving Season, and or you see the value of how social media can move your mission forward, please, I invite you to stop everything and click the link on the right. It's in your resource panel to set up a meeting with me one-on-one, and we'll figure out a time that works for you, and we'll spend 30 minutes together digging into your organization, what your needs are, and, 1 or 2 things that we can do today that specifically custom impacts your organization. That's my commitment to you. That's who I am in the world and what I want for your organization. So, and from our last webinar, I had the honor of talking to a lot of you guys and talk about your organization. So, please feel free to share in the comments. Amy is manning these comments and will interrupt me at any time to say, if something is relevant and bubbles up in this conversation. This is an interactive conversation. I know together we had some aha moments as to just small things that we could do to put you on a path to take advantage of this giving season. That's the entire intention of this 3-part series. So please jump in if you had an experience with me or from our last couple webinars that you want to share in this, and or make sure to take notes and write down questions for the end so we can dig deep, because that is my intention, is to give you value and to set you up to have a prosperous and abundant giving season this year. That's what we're doing in this next 45 minutes or so. So here we go. Buckle up. If you've been to my webinars in the past, you know I like them to be light and fun and jam-packed with lots of information. So this one gets to be that way too. But what I really want to land is that, you know, my life vision is impacting lives through social media, and specifically, you know, we have this movement of impacting 1 billion lives by the end of giving season. And the only way to get there is that everyone gets this magic. Everyone gets to leverage social media and the amplification that comes from that. You know, they say the old adage is you teach a man to fish. Well, my goal is to teach a man to fish and for that to be passed on to other people. So you can amplify that to many lives. And the sooner we can get you up and running and your teams up and running, the more awareness and donations can be made. As always, please share your aha moments on social media. That is what we are on. So I am at Amber J. Lawson. We are at Good Amplified, our amazing, powerful hosts, top nonprofits, and the hashtag movement of 1 billion lives. And you can just include hashtag 1 billion lives in any of your posts, as well as Giving Tuesday, right? That's a hashtag movement. And it's merely hopping on a movement and being a part of all the eyeballs that are coming to that hashtag. Now, just so you know, 1 billion lives hasn't officially launched. So when it does, you will all certainly be notified and can hop on board. So I wanted to create a poll out of the gate to create a baseline. So, and we're just going to recap kind of where we've been, so we're like fresh in our minds, what we've accomplished so far. Like, you've been on this journey, and we've accomplished quite a few things, and that'll baseline us for then this third part. So the first question I have for you is, do you see the value of social media? Yes or no? So just click the button right now, which one you feel. Yes, there is value in social media. No, there is not value in social media. Click the button, and then we will see the response. Yes! I mean, pretty overwhelmingly. Last time we had 100%. Now we're at 95. I like we have some naysayers, because that we get to convert you and win you over. So, you know, we had this conversation last time about knowing that social media is good. So you're sold on social media's ability to spread the word and fund your mission, and versus believing it. If you believe it, what are the actions that you are taking day in and day out to convert? So I acknowledge the people that, you know, are posting every day and are engaged in their social media and are A/B testing and figuring out what is actually impactful. Because if you're not posting, then you don't truly believe that it's actually impacting your mission, right? So I acknowledge you for showing up to impact lives. And I invite you to entertain that when it comes to social media, it's not just posting, right? It's what you are posting, on what platform, and what time of day, and what reaction you've got. So say like you're looking to reach stay-at-home moms, and you're posting on Instagram. But Instagram is the platform to just create awareness for millennials. So, you know, it's great to post, and that's step one, right, in building the muscles and going to the social media gym, getting in the rhythm and creating consistency out of the gate. Amen. I acknowledge that. But then the next phase, and what we've been digging into, is what is the right platform for you, for your goals, for what you're looking to achieve, the people you're trying to reach. What time of day is the most potent time of day? So you're not just throwing things into the wind, but that you're posting at 6 p.m. on Facebook and reaching the most of your audience and beyond your audience, that reach is really, truly impactful. So as you can see, I mean, you said it was valuable. I obviously agree, and I think you're clear that it's a science, and we want to be scientific about this. So we're going to go through the 5 things that you can do to create conversions as we go through this. Which platform? You know, a lot of people I talk to have the experience of trying social media, right? And as a professional, I'm asking, what is it that you're posting? When are you posting, and is it actually working? So what do people actually feel about what you are posting? It's one thing to be posting. It's another thing to be posting on the right social platform and at the best time to reach that targeted audience and to get the desired results. So I know last time I mentioned this, and as our friend Beth Cantor said, and I'm jamming through this because I just want to make sure that it's like top of mind as we're going into this, so that we have a lot of time to dig into content and conversion and the actual tips and tricks. So, you know, at the end of the day, if it doesn't get results, don't do it. You don't get impact by wishful thinking. So it's not about just posting. And again, build that muscle. Consistency is amazing. But step 2 is let's do it on the right platform that actually creates the conversion that you're looking for. And what we don't want to do is leave money on the table. So I don't want to overwhelm you here with showing you this old world. I want you to realize that there are pieces that we're leaving on the table and to take the steps necessary to get that money into your organization so that money converts. Yeah, I run into a lot of people who are doing amazing things and impacting lives, and they are stuck in ways that aren't serving them, right, that aren't bringing the abundance that could actually shift their organization and step into that vision. So like bake sales and car washes are fun and delightful and create community, and galas and direct mail are awesome, but are they producing the results that you're looking for? Are they tapping into that next generation of donor, volunteer, or advocate? And Amy, I know that you, Top Nonprofit, had partnered with an organization to release a study that this year is a tipping point for millennials taking over the workforce. Is that correct?
This is actually the year where 50% of the workforce will be comprised of millennials. So yes, exciting.
So and we're all clear that millennials function on social media. So if you're not on social media, you do not exist to millennials. That is our next generation that we get to create a relationship with, and now is the time. So, Amy, if you haven't already, or you have that link, I'd love to put that into the resources.
The study's not ready yet, so I'll share it with everybody. It should be ready by the end of October. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. So I just want to go into a quick little visualization and take a moment to actually taste, touch, and feel what it would look like with extra money made from digital donations. So if you could, what would you do in your organization if you had $10,000 more? What programs would you put into place? How many people would be impacted? What if it was $100,000? What would that shift in your organization? So I want to really ground us in what's possible from leveraging social media and creating that as a new revenue stream for us. And maybe it already is a big revenue stream for you. And what impact could it actually make in your organization, the programs, and the lives that you are affecting? So Amy, can you read out some of the responses?
There we go. So, all right, guys. Actually, the best way to do this, if you haven't already submitted it, you could send it through the question and answer tool. That would be really helpful. It's easier for me to read it at this point. Great. So we have one here that if they could raise, say, $20,000 above what they did last year, they would love to add a marketing person to their staff.
Got it. Great.
Yeah. How about you guys? Any others out there that want to send it through the Q&A tool? I'll give you another second. Would love to know what you would be doing. Connor said they could really help fund a new dining hall for their summer camp. Alyssa said boosts posts on Facebook and Instagram to reach more insights. So that would be a good way to spend money. I love that everyone's thinking so specifically and thinking about ways that they can really grow. So
and I think the more specific we get of like having, $10,000. Okay, our goal is $10,000. That's going to X. We're going to build out more social media because we know that it'll exponentially grow. That's great. Creating a dining hall.
And I'm guessing we have some more responses, Amber J. I'm guessing that these will come in handy for putting together your strategy too, but I might be jumping ahead. Donna said that they would use it for capital improvements on residential campuses. It's the infrastructure, just like my own infrastructure is aging. So, and Ruth, thanks Donna, thanks Alyssa, Connor. Fund more individuals with housing if we could depend on it annually. So that's another interesting thing too, bringing up the consistent type of giving, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so we definitely want to bring that back around when we're digging in, because I think that's a really key issue, right? It's great to have one-time donors, but creating ongoing annual donors, subscription donors is, the lifeblood, obviously, and how we can dig into that and create more, right? More of those. So cool. Thank you guys. Thank you for your responses and being specific and going there and getting really clear, because that will be helpful as we go through these points. And really what I want to share with you today to put you on the path that for sure, if you didn't even use Good Amplified, the service I created to help organizations like yourself, that you will be set up to receive more this giving season, have an abundant giving season. So is that worthwhile that we hang out for a little while? Yeah? So, if you've been to my last two webinars, you've already picked your platform. So let's bring that kind of front and center. Maybe you picked Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or YouTube or some other platform. We talked about frequency. So if you picked a platform, you know that on Facebook you are posting one or two very potent posts, most likely later in the day, that has a lot more kind of full-bodied experience, versus Instagram, where you're creating awareness and more visually inspired. So you're creating frequency. And then the third bucket that we're talking about is the call to action. So that is what we get to dig in today. We get to convert that audience into digital dollars. Make it rain. So to 59% of people who engage with causes on social media donate money to nonprofits. So again, if you're not there, you're missing out on this big bucket of money. And half of those who cite social media as the communication tool that inspires them the most often to give. And studies show, and I can give you the link to this if you want, online giving is set for exponential growth over the next decade, especially through social media networks. So it's time now to invest resources in social media fundraising, or, you'll be left behind. And I think that's why we're all here. So I acknowledge you for taking the time to figure this out, to figure out how this works for your specific organization. Because I truly believe everybody has a different kind of sweet spot. And it's not just a plug and play. It's not some automated thing that we can say, hey, go do this and you'll have a viral hit, right? It is, it's a process, and we get to A/B test things. We get to see what resonates with your audience. We get to feel, get what really engages your audience, build that audience through consistency, and then be able to talk to them to create conversion and have them actually support you. So definitely take out, if you haven't already, take out your pens and papers or your note-taking device, whatever that could be. What are the ways to raise money? How can you reach those fundraising goals? How can we continue to increase donations via the social media? So we have 5 best practices we're going to dig into now. So buckle up. Here we go. So I know this sounds like duh, but number 1, set a goal. Let's get to the meat of this. Do you want more followers? Do you want more volunteers? Do you want more donations? And listen, I think we all want to make more money. That's why we're here. But if this is the first focused time that you are taking on social media as a key part of your giving strategy, it may be more fruitful for you to grow followers or have people take an action versus coming out hard with the donation or having the donation as the goal. I think the goal, that can be the byproduct. But creating more donations, I think we get to feel getting more followers, creating a deeper relationship with that audience, be a goal that we can achieve and feel really good about, that we're setting ourselves up not only for giving season, but for the rest of the year, right? So one of the organizations I talked to over the past couple of weeks, they're taking advantage of GivingTuesday, which in your resources, there is a link to the GivingTuesday kit, the media kit. So it gives you tips and tricks. We're talking about a lot of them here. You probably know about a lot of them, but it's always a great refresher, and you can use that kit. It gives you a breakdown in the timeline of everything leading up to GivingTuesday, which we can totally go into at the end of our call here. But really, overall, I implore you to take advantage of GivingTuesday. It's a hashtag movement, which means you just include that hashtag on your post. And what that does, it's a way that filters the internet of social media to bring your post into that discussion. And what the value is of that, it costs nothing, right? There's no monetary outlay to participate in that. And you're getting exposure to all the other organizations who are participating in the hashtag movement, so hashtag GivingTuesday. The other layer to this is brands. Consumer brands participate in GivingTuesday and will amplify what's going on. So yes, it's a busy and crowded time, but it's also a time where you can leverage and take advantage of the movement in itself at no cost. So there's nothing to lose in that, only new followers to gain, new awareness to gain, and new donors to gain. So by all means, please participate in #GivingTuesday. And the opportunity is to create a campaign that breaks out of the clutter, that breaks out of the noise of Giving Tuesday. And that's something that we get to think about. I have a question coming up about that, and we can dig into that a little deeper. But so to this conversation I had with one of you guys, one of the organizations was, so this year for Giving Tuesday, they wanted to build the muscle, right, of, social media is a muscle, and we're flexing our muscle, but they wanted to train their audience to respond to them, to engage with them. So for Giving Tuesday, they have the call to action, take a picture of you and your family doing a random act of kindness. Any act of kindness, take a picture and post tagging us, our organization, and #GivingTuesday. And so it builds that muscle. We get to celebrate our community. Look at the good our community is doing. They're out impacting lives. They're doing good. They're doing it with their family, and we get to see it. So they're creating engagement. They're responding to the engagement, and obviously you want to respond. Thank you for posting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for participating. We love our community. Thank you for the good that you're doing in the world. And it sets them up for next year to post their act of kindness in giving to the organization, in funneling that down and converting them into actual donations or acts that support the organization. And I think that's a perfect example of, having a plan, moving through what is, moving through your audience. They know how to interact with you, how to engage with you, and that you even care that you're listening, that you're participating. So very cool. Second piece, calls to action, CTAs. We all talk about CTAs. So now that you have your goal, right? What is your goal? Your call to action becomes obviously very clear. So is it, volunteer, sign up here? Is it follow us, share us, engage with us, participate with us, donate, share, join our email? So all of this becomes crystal clear when you have what your goal is, right? And your goal can be donate. I'm not saying don't take that away or that shouldn't be part of it. But like, what's going to be our measurable result? How are we going to know that social media actually benefited us and that the people responded to us and that they were engaged and what we were doing was working? 3 things I want to say on your calls to action in any post that I think are key. 1 is create urgency. So, in the next 24 hours, we are raising $1,000. Join us. Be the legacy that creates this lunch table, that creates this, our new marketing campaign. So that's 1, urgency, urgency, urgency. And create, deadlines. Because our human nature, our nature as humans is, we're like, yes, I want to do that, but I'll get to it when I get home. And then, of course, then it's fallen off the radar and we don't do it. And it's not that we didn't have the intention to do it. We totally did. It just fell out of, demand in our world. So creating urgency, do it now. We have, a day to get this complete. And they can be small, sizable steps. And that comes to number 2, which I think, in funding a new dining hall, like what is that number and how can I contribute? Does it cost $10 to buy a seat in that new dining room? What is it that I can purchase that I physically feel accountable for and that I can make an impact for? Nothing is more exciting. You know, we're doing a fundraiser for Castellet right now, and they need, you know, personal hygiene products. The Amazon list, $27 for a shaving kit, done, easy. And I may have only thought to contribute $20, right? That just ups my contribution by, you know, a third. So clear, specific ways that I can say, okay, right now, $50 gets you a table in the dining room. We need 10 tables, go, in the next 24 hours. So specific, urgent, and then craft your donates in various ways, right? So there's donate now. There is you can donate. $10 gets you X. You know, as I experience having these webinars and having conversations with people hear things differently, right? It's just how we're wired. Somebody may hear donate now and totally gloss over it. Somebody else may get the urgency and donate now. So I just invite you to not always craft your call to action the same way. Wordsmith it in various ways so it can land with people. And the other thing is, you know, Amy and I talk about this a lot. If people see the same image time and time again, they kind of tune it out. So even though the messaging may be similar, as long as there is a different image and words, it seems like a totally different, you know, post and a different experience, and it lands differently, and people will take that action. So second, call to action. Okay, this third one, it's not even a third one. I call it 2.5, payment systems. I know this seems silly to even bring up, but I certainly don't want to discount it. Are you seeing this, or did I just go off, Amy? Are you on payment systems?
I'm not seeing. I'm still seeing the call to action slide.
Okay, let me see.
But I can
it gave me an error.
Oh, okay.
Is that live?
I jumped it up there. Do you see it? It's on my screen now.
Okay, are you on payment
all of
systems?
you playing at home? I see payment systems. Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, I got an error, sorry. Okay, so payment systems, right? Duh. But, you know, I've seen this fail time and time again when, if you can have one central location, a small bit.ly link or whatever your customized URL is for donation, that it's one central link. Obviously, that's the best way to funnel it all in. But what I also want to just make sure we're aware of is that there are other platforms, and you can register if you are not already on each of these platforms as a 501c3. You get kind of some preferential treatment, right? On Facebook, people can anybody, this is where the exponential growth happens. I can pull you up without you even knowing and donate my birthday to you or donate a picture, a post to you. And it's the exponential way to create flow. Facebook has it. Also, YouTube has donation cards. So donation cards, I can post one on any one of my videos. If you have an influencer partnership, you know, they post it on their videos. And that can, you know, create a pot while you're sleeping. I mean, that's the whole intention of these digital dollars, is that your content, that your cause, and that your reach is working for you while you are sleeping, that you are not having to go out and have these one-on-one conversations, that your posts are doing the work for you, obviously. So Facebook, Twitter also has cash hashtags. You there's many platforms like Good World, Google for nonprofits. They give grants for AdWords, and then Apple Pay, Android Pay, those kind of things obviously are things. So I don't want to belabor that. I just want to make sure that, it's clean, it's set up, and you are taking advantage of the other platforms that are out there. Okay. What you've all been waiting for, content, content, content. Whoever tells the best story wins. So this is where we get to spend some time. Let's roll up our sleeves. So my intention is to create awareness that you have everything already. You have everything you need in order to win this game already. Because here's the thing. The most effective form of marketing is storytelling. And you have stories to tell. It's so funny. I'm friends with the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation. My friend's the executive director. We're talking. He's like, Amber J, we don't create a lot of content. We don't create videos. And in the foundation, I was like, who do you grant money to? He's like, usually 100 organizations, right? Awesome. So what if each of those 100 organizations used or even half of them, right? I get some are in Africa and maybe they don't have access to certain tools, but half of them have smartphones of some sort, right? And they can video the direct impact that money is having. So the money that foundation is granting goes to X, Y, and Z. Let's see even a 30-second or minute-long video of, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm here in Malawi, and we're doing X, Y, and Z. Thank you for your contribution, is impactful, powerful content that can create a flow and consistency of what you are doing. So never think that you don't have the tools, because you do. They're right in your hand. And then what we've been working on is posting it on social media, on the platform and the frequency and with the call to action that we've established. One of the things that a great example of this, and maybe I've told you guys this before, but Make-A-Wish was one of our first partners, and still is, but we took over their YouTube channel, right? And one of the first things we do is we optimize the videos on their channel. And one of the videos was a Kobe Bryant video. It was from 2011. He was playing horse with the Wish Kid. And, it had 600,000 views, which is awesome. But we optimized it, got it picked up in the YouTube algorithm. And within 6 months, that video garnered 2.2 million views. Million. So clearly from an awareness perspective, that is super valuable and impactful. And from a revenue perspective, every million views on YouTube equals $5,000. So that video, there was this kind of hanging out there, right, sitting on the shelf from 2011, is worth $10,000. So, what do you have already that can be working for you, that can be doing the work for you? So please, if you haven't already, go to the right side, schedule a time with me, and we'll go over the content that you already have that can be working for you, that can be part of that pipeline, that can be part of your Giving Tuesday and your giving season campaigns. All right. So impactful videos. We're going to dig into this. So there are kind of 3 buckets of videos, right? One is topical. What's trending? What is something that you can participate in or that you're impacting? An example is, so we work with Michelson Found Animals. And the horrible hurricanes that have just happened, they've been doing all this amazing work with the animals impacted and affected by the hurricane. And so by sharing the impact you're having on something that is very timely and topical, that is in that's trending to participate in that flow is key. So it's being part of the conversation and how you're impacting. People need to know these things. I find a lot of times the organizations I work with are really modest about the things that they're doing, and they feel boastful by sharing, they helped the hurricane. But the fact of the matter is, the more people that understand, especially millennials, that you are a key piece in saving the lives of animals, of helping them get out of harm's way, whatever your piece is, whatever the thing is that you are doing, then they get to participate. They want to be a part of that. They want to get in, and they want to help, and they want to support. So maybe that means gathering more volunteers. That means more followers. And ultimately what that means is more donations. The second piece is, and it's so overlooked by our nonprofit community, is bringing valuable content, so or how-to videos. So the thing about how-to videos it's the number one thing searched on the internet. So if you think about it in this way, heaven forbid you are affected by some disease, right? You are diagnosed with a disease. You come home from that, and the first thing we do as humans these days is we Google it. We want to know everything we can do in our power to offset this, to know what we're going through, the journey or process that it is to heal from what we've just discovered about ourselves, right? And there are organizations whose mission is to help you and support you on that journey in that moment. A friend of mine, his daughter was diagnosed with this rare disease. He Googled it when he got home. He Googled it, and he couldn't find any supporting organizations or material. There were no videos. And the fact of the matter is, there was an organization not a mile from his house whose mission was to support him in that moment, to help him on that journey. And so it is how these how-to videos are so key and so important, and they are that evergreen content that can really support your underlying content strategy and deliver day in and day out, not only in your giving season. So, it could be as basic as how to donate, but it's how to eat or how to avoid nausea when going through chemotherapy, how to talk to my friends who are diagnosed with X, Y, and Z. It's the things that help us in the journey that are key. And then the third piece of it is relatable. So I think of this as like the more viral videos or your big PSAs, the bigger kind of things that you are investing in, those cornerstones, those big things. But it's really about like what's relatable and what's really going to be that hook that hooks people in. And what I want to say about that is there are some action emotions that these videos can impact. So the 5 emotions are awe, amusement, hopelessness, curiosity, and fear. So those are the 5 things you want to think about when creating that viral or kind of tentpole video. And then the last thing about this is, that direct-to-camera appeal. And that goes back to using our cell phones. It doesn't have to be some expensive, crazy production. Do direct-to-camera appeals. And the only disclaimer I have with all of this that we're talking about is to direct donation appeals need to be interspersed between bringing value in these how-to videos or the how-to posts and the topical content, right? Like what's happening, it's timely and topical. So I look at it as like a 1-to-3, 1-to-4 ratio. It should be the balance of when you're asking that direct appeal. I'm going to jam. I didn't realize we're running out of time, you guys. There's so much to talk about. So this is a great, and actually I will send this to you guys, or Amy, we can send this slide. It's a nice breakdown of when the kind of like the length of content on the platform that will be most impactful and effective depending on what you're looking to achieve. And I think it's really valuable and insightful, if I do say so myself. Did I say myself? The fourth piece of this is an editorial calendar. So listen, we want to set ourselves up to succeed. Take the time to map out what you're doing for Giving Tuesday and for giving season so you can kind of set it and forget it, the old romp appeal. Like you can set up a whole bunch of content that can roll out on a platform over time, or you can work with us to do that. That's what we do. You know, we have a subscription social media service, and we can be running that in the background so that then you can create a layer and respond in real time to things that come up, right? So if you have this already planned out, that we have it rolling out daily and we have it all planned, and that's great, and that's done, so that when something, you know, is let's say something happens, like a hurricane or something, and you want to respond to it, that you can craft that and take the time to have the correct response, to be in the conversation that relates to you, that is supportive to what's happening. Right, so editorial calendar is key. And I just want to point out, and I think this is also in the resources section. If not, you can search the Top Nonprofit site, but they have a free downloadable editorial calendar. So it's all this that I have here is all in on the PNP site and the Top Nonprofit site, and you can get started right away. So quick question, we'll do this. Do you have a Giving Tuesday campaign already set up? Yes, no, or maybe? Click, click, click. Have you thought about Giving Tuesday? Have you mapped out what you're doing for Giving Tuesday? Is it not even on your radar? What do you think? Okay, so like 50-50. We have 50% yes, they have a Giving Tuesday campaign, 33% no, and some maybe, I don't know. So again, we get to dive into, I think I mentioned it enough here, but we can definitely talk about that one-on-one. Schedule an appointment with me. Definitely download the Giving Tuesday guide, toolkit. That will be helpful. But use the hashtag Giving Tuesday. If anything, it will just shine light onto what you're doing, what you are up to, and bring new followers to you. And the fifth and final thing, and I know this is a no-brainer, but we get so rushed, especially in the holiday season and giving season, is the art of acknowledgment. It's so crazy, but one of my friends donated a huge amount of money to an organization, and they never even said thank you. And I know that just is seems unbelievable, and of course you would say thank you, but the rush and bustle and whatever, in the front part of the ask, takes the lead and takes over, and we sometimes forget that we get to acknowledge those people, our audience, our followers, our supporters, our volunteers, and our donors. Thank them. Give them shout-outs on social media. They love it. I can't tell you how many times when somebody gives me hey, Amber J., thanks for this webinar. Thanks for this tip. It warms my heart. It makes me feel like I had an impact, that I made a difference, no matter how big or small. And it's the easiest thing to do. It costs no money. And it breeds loyalty, right? They want to come back, and they want to give more, and they want to be engaged more. So don't forget the art of acknowledgement. And listen, this is the look I give when I'm completely overwhelmed. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I totally get it. But we are complete. and I want to open up to questions. Listen, one does simply not become a social media sensation overnight. It is about consistency. So I, again, acknowledge you for showing up and being in this conversation and looking to dig in. Let's set a time to talk, but let's answer some questions. Let me pipe down and turn it over to Amy and see what is burning for you guys. What can we, solve in the next 5 minutes?
Yeah, what are those burning questions? And you got, thank you, Michael, who said, Amber J, you rock. So I couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
We do have some questions rolling in, and I guess, Amber J, we're coming close to the top of the hour. Do you have a little bit of time to stay past the top of the hour to answer any other questions, or is it a hard stop?
I can stay for 5. No, I can stay for 5 minutes over. I just have another call starting, but I told them I might be late, so all good.
Okay, perfect. So, we can take some questions, and we already have some questions, so let's get to those right away. Could you repeat the emotional hooks that you mentioned earlier, please?
Yes, absolutely.
And while you're doing that, I just want to let everybody – go ahead.
Awe.
Pen in hand.
Okay, awe, amusement, hopelessness, curiosity, and fear.
Awe,
action,
amusement.
Action, emotions. Awe, amusement, hopelessness, curiosity, and fear.
Awesome. All right, and then I also want to let everybody know that I did add that effective storytelling slide to the resource list. So it's in your resource list. If you refresh your screen, it'll populate, because I wanted to make sure we included that. Okay, so let me see, another question. So I hope that helped you. I forget who, Elizabeth. Hope that helps. Thanks for your questions. And let's see, could you answer Connor's question, which is, how would you suggest using GoFundMe? Which is kind of it's a pretty open question. So do you have any tips regarding GoFundMe? It's pretty broad.
Yeah. Well, really for any crowdfunding platform, and we might have talked about this last time too, is you kind of get to game the system. The bulk of your donations will come from the beginning and the end. So, when we were talking about urgency and putting a clock on things, it makes people choose. They either choose to donate or they don't. And that's great, right? So what we do in any kind of crowdfunding is you want some ringers out of the gate. So if you have people who are your tentpole givers, have them kind of stack the deck with donations out of the gate. So if they're putting large amounts of money in, or you have a group of small amounts of money, what this does and why it's important is you're gaming the system and you're gaming the algorithm, because what it does when you have a whole bunch of donations that happen in the first day, especially in the first several hours, it tricks the algorithm to think that this is a hot, successful campaign, and it will rank you higher in searchability. So you will bubble up onto the first page, and therefore you actually get the opportunity to have new people support you and to be discovered by new people. Same thing with the end, right? You put a clock on it. You're like, we have 1 hour left. We're $1,000 away from our goal. Who's going to help us get over it? Who's going to help it? That urgency, that kind of auctioneer kind of, urgency that pushes people to, jump. Now's the time. Jump. We're this close. We're almost there. Do you want to save this or not?
And so in doing that, Amber J, would you recommend having, did you say that you would have people that be prepared to to jump in at those points to help tame it. Is that what your suggestion was? Okay.
Yes, because,
Awesome.
even if it's $20 here and there, right, it can be your friends and family. Have them $20, and then you can shout it out on social media, right? Oh, my gosh, thank you, blah, blah. And you can have these pre-planned. It's all about, planning and creating. So thank you, Mom, for posting, for the $20.
Yeah.
We're that much closer. It doesn't matter who it is, but, it just gives you more content to create the urgency to have people act.
Yeah. It's the telethons had the telephones in the background, right? And when the telephones would ring, more telephones would ring, and it got people inspired to call that number and donate. So this is this is the 21st century version of that, because we don't have the phones. We don't have phones.
Exactly.
Okay. And here's a question about, could you just address, is it worth the potential downside that an organization wouldn't get the information about a donor if they did something like, let's say they donate their birthday on Facebook, for example. My organization wouldn't actually have access to that donors or the donors who support that person, right? So we wouldn't have access to them. But is it worth that potential downside to have greater visibility across a major platform like Facebook?
I totally understand that you want to capture anyone and everyone that, it touches your organization or comes, if they're donating, clearly they care. And I would say at minimum, what you are creating is awareness of your organization that wasn't there before. So, my friend just donated her birthday. It was to a theater company I had never heard of. It's her birthday. I want to contribute, and now I know of that theater company. And I have a deeper understanding of who or what they are, which allows me then to make the next step of giving my email address and or, being a true fan or supporter. But it only amplifies and expands your potential audience, your reach. And those people get to convert. That's the thing is you have that inner circle. So you have your actual fans. You have kind of the people that are one-time supporters. But that outer ring, they're on their way. They're in the funnel, right? They're on their way to being a partner. And, as long as you touch them and create awareness, I think that's always a win.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, I definitely want to encourage everybody listening to take Amber J up on her offer to, schedule a one-on-one that's in the resource list. As she mentioned earlier, and kindly, you were like, yeah, Amy and I have talked about how using the same images. And it's like, no, we didn't really. You told me that I shouldn't be doing you totally educated me on that. I was doing it wrong, and you fixed it. So thank you. But I have learned. I can just tell you that we've learned a lot here at Top Nonprofits from Amber J. And I can't say enough great things about you. So I hope everybody takes you up on that offer. And I hope we can do this again. Please check out all of those awesome resources. You'll get an email later today with the recording. And as well, I think you'll be able to contact us as always. Feel free to do so. I want to thank everybody who, almost everyone is hung in here the entire time. So thanks so much. And if you have any other questions, please do forward them to us. And with that, I will say goodbye, and I'll ask Amber J to say a few words in closing.
Thank you. Amy, I am grateful to you and Craig and Top Nonprofits, and I'm just grateful that I've been giving this space and your attention to hopefully have an impact on what you're doing in the world, and that is truly my life vision, and I'm truly honored and thankful to have this time with you. And I wish for you an abundant and prosperous giving season, and I can't wait to talk to you all one-on-one. So thank you again, and have a beautiful, amazing day and giving season.
Awesome. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much. Let's get together and do this again sometime. Bye.